where you're joining from. And it's a pleasure to have you join us on the second day, the second installment on the subject of navigate. All right, helping you figure things out many times, the things that you're not clearly told, and also helping you to make the needed progress. And it's my pleasure to be hosting you. It's gonna be an amazing time again and again. My name is Joshua Ojo, and I'm going to be walking you through some of the very important details that I believe is going to be very pivotal to your progress, is going to be very pivotal to your intentional work. All right. And so I want to welcome you and say that you're about to have a great time. We began yesterday by having the first installment, on this session of the training, and it's been a beautiful one. It's been an exciting one. I love some of the feedbacks that I've seen, some of the points that I've seen people deciding to work on, and today is going to be another exciting time. So get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. So you are welcome. I want you to pay close attention to all the things that we're going to be talking about, because they are really going to be very, very important and essential things. And so I want you to, follow through and pay the needed attention, because it is going to really, really be, you know, um, pivotal for you, right? So you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. I wherever you're joining from, I want you to share the link of these sessions, share with somebody, and a friend, a colleague, and let them be a part of this. All right, so it's about to be um, a great time. It's about to be another amazing time. I want you to um, follow through. Okay, so I'm just gonna give a moment for some persons to join. I'm just gonna give some minute for us to have a number of persons joining um, again. All right, so that we are able to kick off from there. All right, all right. We are about to have a great time. About to have a great time. Okay. All right. So, yep. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. If you're just joining in, you are welcome. All right. If you're just joining in, you are welcome. 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 All right. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be an amazing session. So, we're going to, just dive in straight away, you know, in just a matter of, a minute or two. I want you to, you know, make sure you don't miss any part of these. I want to make sure you don't miss any part of these. Okay, we are having a great time. Okay, all right. So I think we have a couple of persons. We have people joining in already. So I think let's go ahead. So you are welcome, 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 guys. Welcome, welcome. So yesterday, just to give a little recap from yesterday, we started talking about, yeah. And as you're joining in, I love to know. Um, I, I believe I should have time because I'm getting in right now. But if you're able to, I want you to just, as you join in, just introduce yourself, tell me your name in the comments, and where you're joining from. Why I just speak up, okay? Why I just go through some of the things that we we went through yesterday, right? And I'm so excited about the things I want to talk about today. Okay, so yesterday, one of the very important things I was emphasizing is the fact that you must understand that people want to figure, they're looking forward to, I just want to get everything figured out. I want to know everything to do and how to do them. And one of the things that I emphasize is the fact that you you must not allow, you know there is something called analysis paralysis. And this is when you're trying to analyze the situation in so much a way that you analyze so much that you now don't take any action. You see that now? You analyze so much that you now don't take any action, which is because you're trying to you're trying to dot all the i's, cross all the t's. You are seeing something again and again, and it doesn't allow you to start. There is that inertia. You are not taking steps. You are having excuses because you're like, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't know everything? And one of the things I told you, which is very important, is the fact that clarity comes as you take the first step. Okay, clarity comes as you take the first step. One of the things that affect people, especially in this age bracket, is because you are thinking, I want to have everything figured out. That is when I can have a rest of mind to move on. However, for the most part, it doesn't work that way. All right, it doesn't work that way, that you would think that I have to know everything, I have to already figure everything out before I then take the first step. No, clarity comes in the journey. All right, clarity comes when you take the first step and you decide to say, I want to make progress in this direction. One of the examples I gave you, a typical one I gave you was the example of how you see maybe a headlamp or a torchlight works. Okay, when you're using a headlamp, for instance, you would notice something, is that it doesn't show you, it doesn't just illuminate everywhere from where you are up onto where you're going. It only illuminates a few, just a little distance, right? You must be ready to trust yourself or trust in that journey to move, to the extent to which the light, is being beamed on that road, right? So you move, and as you move, what happens? The headlamp illuminates more distance, right, for you to be able to see. But if you insist that, because I cannot see everything, I can't see my destination from where I'm standing, and I'm not gonna make more, I'm not gonna move. That way, you are not going to be able to do much, right? Because you're waiting for the perfect condition to be able to take the first step. However, for the most part, you would most likely not have a perfect condition. Okay, most likely not have a perfect condition in in seeing something work. All right, you must take that first step. One of the things that I also mention is the fact that you you must avoid that comparison, especially in this age bracket. Remember, we're talking about, for the most part, your 20s, leading into your 20s, and your late 20s, where majorly one of the things that is happening is a lot of foundation building. Okay, and so what do? One of the things that we see that is very important is the fact that many of the things that you do at this particular age bracket is going to impact a lot of other things that you're going to be doing in the coming years. Okay, which is the reason why it is very important that you are paying close attention. It's very important that you are paying very close attention to the things that you're investing in, the knowledge that you're getting, what you are opening yourself to, the things that are being projected at you, what you are deciding to accept and receive as an identity for yourself, all of those things are important at this stage. All right. And I mentioned that you must there is a way that the media makes you, just look at, just imagine seeing so many things, because with the media you can now see what is happening across the world. You can be in your room now and you're seeing what is happening with a friend in France, all right, or a friend in Paris and all of that. And the media, if you're not careful, it has a way to make you feel that, oh, am I behind? And you're wondering, ah, what's going on? It looks like I'm not making the needed progress that I need to make. Why? Because there is a way you are projecting what is happening in another man's life into your own life. And I also mentioned that you hope you know that nobody posts their not so good life online. All right. What people post online, or what you see for the most part online, is more like the good, nice, packaged part of people. All right. Because if you want to, with all your problems now, your anxieties and all, if you want to package now, you can package. And you to also post something online, or just make it give a feel that, me too, I'm not doing bad, everything is going on for me, even though that is not really it. And your goal is to pepper somebody else. You see, that is something you have to know. So you cannot project another man's life, that you don't even know for a fact, right? And now project it on yourself to make you make conclusions about yourself that, it looks like my life is behind, right? Okay. So, and we went through a whole lot of other things. I don't want to have to go through it. If you missed any part of yesterday, I want you to just go back to this session, all right, and just listen and watch again. Today I have something I think is going to do you a whole lot of good. Okay, are you ready? If you're ready, type yes I am. Type yes I am in the comment section. Type yes I am ready. Yes I am. And I think I want to begin by telling you a story. I want to begin by telling you a story. Are you ready? Okay, just give me a moment and I would get through to that. All right, I think we are ready right now. We're ready to go. All right, so I said I want to begin by telling you a story, right? However, just before I get into that, I want to tell you something about ignorance. You see, ignorance is so powerful. I mean, in terms of its effect, ignorance is so powerful to the extent that if you are not careful, ignorance has the power to make a man thirsty even in the midst of a river, even in the midst of a sea. That is how bad ignorance can be. And this is the reason why one of the things that you want to pay attention to at this stage is a lot of learning, a lot of mind positioning, a lot of investing in the right knowledge. That's part of the things I was talking to you about yesterday. Investing in the right knowledge. I mean, I don't know how much I can't overemphasize this. This is very important. Ignorance is so powerful that it can keep a man in a state, a very serious state, that is in the midst of a sea, yet is thirsty. Just imagine that. Imagine me telling you that you are in the midst of an ocean and yet you're saying you are thirsty. That is what ignorance can do to a man. So let me tell you a story. So there's this story of a man who was going to go on a 7-day journey. All right, it's going to be on a trip for 7 days, and so with so many other people. All right, so he boarded, and why, just in preparation for the journey, there were certain things he didn't know, all right, that were already factored in into that journey. However, I didn't know, and we're going to get to that in a bit. So, in preparing for this journey, what did the man do? The man was thinking, okay, what am I going to eat, for the course of these 7 days and all. So, guess what the man decided to do? So he decided to just take in some snacks, pack some snacks, and biscuit, and little things here and there, put it in his box and boarded with it. Now, on the first day, of course, he started consuming some of the snacks, started eating, and for the first day, he was still fine, managing that in the morning and in the evening. And so, when it was the second day, now by the second day, it was already, the snacks were already going down, because it's just snacks now. So, by the end of the second day, he was done with his snacks. All right, and he started getting afraid. What am I going to be eating for the rest? I still have 5 days to go. Now, however, but then, even though he was experiencing that, other persons that were on board with him, he saw that they were eating and they were doing fine and all of that. People were ordering meals, and the like. So, but then in his mind, it was like, these people have money. I don't have money, to spend like these people. So let me just use and manage my snack, all right? Now, on the third day, the snacks he got, they were exhausted already. Now, the snacks were exhausted. Guess what now happened? On the third day, he was already now getting, because they're just snacks. They couldn't even hold him really in the first and the second day. Now, on the third day, he started getting really hungry. Now, by the evening of the third day, he was already looking so weak. And guess what? He still had 4 days to go. Now, on the fourth day, it was already telling on his body. He couldn't really, relate with other people. He just locked himself in his, space. He was really hungry. He was like, God, how am I going to survive? I still have 3 days left, and I'm this hungry. Now, he was able to bear with the 4th day. Now, on the 5th day, it was already getting out of hand. By the evening of the 5th day, somebody saw him, all right, and the person decided to approach him and say, hey, what's going on? You're looking very, very famished, and why are you looking this way? Like, this is the 5th day. Why are you like this? Every other person is looking and doing fine. What is the problem? Why are you looking like this? And guess what he said? He mentioned that, actually, he only came on board with some snacks, and so he already exhausted his snacks on the second day. So he didn't have, of course, he wasn't boxed up enough to be able to start purchasing meal like, you people are eating and all of that. And I didn't want to ask anybody and all of that. And the person who was talking to started looking at him with surprise. What do you mean you're hungry? Like, what is the problem? Why are you hungry? And it was like, am I not supposed to be hungry? Like I said, I don't have money to purchase food. And the person said, for your information, where is your ticket? Do you have a ticket? He said, yes, I have a ticket. Now, he said, as long as you have a ticket to come on board, the implication of it is that your meals for the 7 days of this trip has also been taken care of. Eh? You said what? Did I just say mwah? Are you kidding me right now? Bro, this is the evening of the 5th day. And you're telling me that my meals have been the meals for the 7 days have been taken care of, and I've suffered for the 1st to the 5th day. What? What's going on? How come I didn't know this? Guess what? So the evening of the fifth day was when he was now rushing to eat. Do you know? Do you know there is a way somebody can eat with anger? Like to suddenly realize that he has missed meals morning, afternoon, evening for the first 5 days that he was entitled to because he didn't know. Ignorance. Listen, look at where I'm coming from. Ignorance is very powerful. It has the ability to make a man thirst even in the midst of an ocean. This is the reason why one of the things you want to make up your mind that in the areas that pertain to my effectiveness, I am not going to be ignorant. This is very important. So this guy was eating with so much anger. He was angry. You know, there is a way you can eat and you eat with anger. But then, of course, he had only 2 days left. Of course, so he had the 2 days, but you know, the first 5 days that I could have eaten, but then why? The problem was ignorance. Listen, what you don't know is powerful. Let me put it this way. What you don't know is more powerful than you. Did you hear what I said? What you don't know is more powerful than you. And so this is the reason why you must be intentional in seeking knowledge, right knowledge, all right, across different areas, across specific areas, because it's going to be very needed for you. You cannot afford to be ignorant in the areas where you know, because there is no way. Ignorance has a way of affecting your effectiveness. Okay, so because of time, I need to run now. So I shared quite a number of things yesterday, and today I want to share 6 points with you. All right, I hope I'm able to finish, okay? But I have 6 points to share with you on what you should know to make progress. Listen, I believe that these are very essential things. If you pay attention, they have the ability to change the course of your life, redirect the course of your life, help you take better decisions, even at this stage where you find yourself. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? One of the things I want to talk about quickly, number one, is that you must not just want the end result of a thing, you must also be interested in the process. That's number one. You must not just want the end result of a thing, you must also want and be interested. You must also be interested in the process. And I'm going to explain that to you. You see, the real making of men, all right, your real making, okay, as a person, your real building as a person will not even come when you arrive at your end goal. Your making is actually what you experience on the journey to the end goal. So for the most part, all right, what you need or what you want to become, you're saying that, okay, so for instance, let me use something that maybe you can even relate with. So for example, I want to become, I want to be celebrated as a doctor. Now that's an end goal, right? To graduate as a doctor, and people celebrating on your graduation. Now that is the end goal. Beautiful, looks like a fantastic destination. However, why that is good to rejoice about and be happy about, one thing that you must pay closer attention to is the process that will lead you into becoming a medical doctor. So there are a number of years, all right, across which you would have to study certain things, all right, read certain things, take practicals on certain things. Okay, now the process is really what matters more, because when you go through the process, there is a build-up, there is a making that happens to you that makes you eventually qualified when you get to the end goal, that makes you qualified when you get to the end result. Listen, this is very important. Don't be quick to look for shortcuts to do things. Don't be quick to looking for shortcuts to do things. This is very important. You know, when there is a way, there is a way that you, there is a way that your attention, you're so, your mind is so fixated on getting the the easiest way to do something. Now, don't get me wrong, there are things that of course I'm not saying that everything should always be hard, okay, but I am telling you that if you decide to always look for shortcuts in every situation, at every point in time, you're always looking for shortcuts. You're always looking for shortcuts. There is a way it would affect you. There is a way it would affect you that is not good. Let me give you an example. Do you know there is a difference between what you call fast food and food that you really, take time to cook? I hope you know that the amount of time it takes to prepare Indomie is different from the amount of time it takes to prepare beans or to prepare a complete meal like that, maybe pounded yam and vegetable. Right? Now, listen to me. This is very important. I'm saying that the same way many people are like, I'm in a rush. Let me look for a fast food joint, to quickly just eat something and run off. This is how many people want to be treating their lives also. You want to look for shortcuts, at all times. You want to be like, see, I cannot endure just sitting and waiting through all this process, and this is the reason why even with the advent of AI, many people are not using it the right way. There are people, now see, there is a proper way to use AI. And if you're not careful, okay, if you're not careful, you would find yourself in a position where, because you are just so interested in shortcuts, there is a way that you are now no longer training your mind. There is a way that you are now no longer putting yourself in a situation where you can think effectively, because you've looked for a shortcut very quickly. Now, you found a way to just to avoid the process of thinking, the process of that would have made you better and stronger. You are thinking that the goal is just for me to get to my end results, graduate, finish this thing. It doesn't matter how I do it, let me just finish it. No, you're not going to grow that way. You're not going to make progress that way. Okay, that there is something about being part of the process of a thing that qualifies you for the destination. Are you getting this? Are you getting what I'm saying? This is very important. Number 2. So I said number 1, you must not just be interested in the end result, you must also be interested in the process that leads to the end goal, right? Now, number 2. There are many parts of your growth that is going to be internal. And many times, so that's number 2. There are, some part of your growth will be internal. Some part of your growth will be internal. So let me just read it the way I wrote it, right? Many part of your growth might currently be internal. So don't rush to quit thinking nothing is working. Let me take that again. Many part of your growth will be internal. So don't rush to quit thinking nothing is working. As a flow of thought from the first point I was discussing, there is a way that if you just want to see that something is working, all right, and of course when something is working and there is real evidence for it externally, all right, there is a way to motivate you to want to do more. But I am saying that there are certain part of your growth and your development that will not have external evidence immediately, that many of the work will be internal. You must learn how to trust the process and continue and not quit thinking that nothing is working. So now let me give you an example. How many of you have been in a place where maybe they are erecting a structure, they are building a structure, for instance. Now they build the structure to a level that everyone can see, something has happened outside. But do you know that there is a part of the building, a part of the structure building that people don't see, which is what happens inside the building? Do you know, for the most part, what happens inside the building of the house when they are fixing, the windows, they are fixing the bulbs, they are doing a lot of screeding on the wall, they are doing a lot of painting inside. Do you know, for somebody that is looking from the outside, for the most part, you will not see what is happening inside. And there is a way you can make a mistake that because we cannot see what is happening inside of this house, it means nothing is going on in this house. That is totally wrong. I tell you, that is totally wrong. So that the fact that you are not seeing external evidences, the fact that you are not seeing external evidences doesn't mean that the things that are going on internally are waste of time. It's the same way when you're building foundation of a thing. The foundation, for the most part, is what you are not going to see. You're not going to see the foundation for the most part. All right. So I'm saying that many part of your growth will be internal. So meaning you are not going to see an external evidence, at the initial stage. So what you want to do is that you must trust the process of building. So an example is, for example, maybe you have determined that you want to be very successful. Okay, let me use this example. How many of you have decided to maybe get better in your body structure before, your body shape? So you decide you're going to register in the gym. Now, when you register in the gym and you start going to the gym the first day, the second day, the third day, the fifth day, the seventh day, guess what? For the most part, you are not going to see anything happening externally yet. Are you getting what I'm saying? But then you must be able to trust the process. You must be able to trust the process, that even though I have not seen anything happening externally yet, there is a growth that is already taking place within. There is what is happening to my muscles. There is what is happening to my body structure internally. There are build-ups that are happening within, breakaways. There are things that are coming together internally, all right, that would eventually lead to the external evidence that I am looking for. But guess what? When people go to the gym, within a short period of time, you're already looking at your body. I've gone to the gym for 2 days now. How come I'm not seeing the evidence? Well, maybe this thing is really a scam. Maybe, it's not really working. All right, let me just go and, find another shortcut. I've gone to the gym for 1 week. I'm not seeing any results. And that is how some of us treat our lives. You'll be like, we had this training now, and you people said I should study, I should begin to read books. Now, I've started reading books. It's not like I'm already seeing any change yet. Oh, you said I should go and learn this skill. Now I've started learning. I thought I would have been making money by next week. But now it's even me that is still spending money to register for more trainings and learn more things. I've not, it's as though I'm even really broke. Don't cheat yourself into stopping a process that is going to eventually produce results. For instance, I hope you know that when you're developing yourself, for instance, maybe in financial intelligence, at the beginning, do you know that you are most likely going to be broke? Do you know why? Because at the beginning, you are the one spending your money to buy materials. You are the one spending the money to buy courses, to learn from people, to pay for mastermind and all of that. And in your mind, you're like, I thought you told me that this is the pathway to be wealthy or to be successful. How come I'm becoming more broke? Listen. That when you are, trying to grow your way in financial intelligence, and you are broke now, you must know that there is a difference between being broke and being poor. Now, you might not have money in your hand. At that point in time, you are not the same with somebody that is not investing in any knowledge, that is poor. At that point in time, you are not poor, you are only broke. And what is the difference? The person that is poor is in a state where he has not been able to actually build anything like an asset inside of himself. Okay, this is the reason why he's poor. He has not been able to build anything that is valuable. Now, you are buying materials, you are buying books, you are ready, you're paying for courses, you're being part of masterminds, and all of that. Something is already happening within. All right, you might be broke externally, physically. It looks as though you don't have the money yet, but listen, there is something that is already happening inside of you. There is a build-up that is happening inside of you that if you don't stop it, eventually you are going to see an evidence. You're going to be able to see a physical evidence for the things that you have been building within you. Are you getting what I'm saying? This is very important. All right. So that many part of your growth might, currently be internal. All right, internal. But don't rush to quit because you are thinking maybe it's not working. No, there is a lot of building up that happens within before you see the results externally. I'm saying pay attention to the process. Don't allow someone to come and discourage you out of your building phase, out of your training phase. Don't allow somebody to come and kick you out of it. Are you getting this? This is very important. It's just like you saying that a woman, it's just like you saying that a woman is not, it doesn't, it's just like saying, oh, if you really know that you are pregnant, and why have you not given birth? There is a process. There is a time component to it. Are you getting what I'm saying? There is a time component to it. Something is happening within her that you might not see yet. But the fact that you don't see it, the fact that you don't have a physical evidence yet, doesn't mean that a lot isn't going on yet. Are you listening to this? This is very important. All right, so because of time, let's move quickly to the third point. All right, remember we're talking about what you should know to make the needed progress. So now let's go to number 3. Now I want to try to move faster now. Number 3 is that don't always think of starting big, but then start where you are and be consistent. Don't always think of starting big. Now, of course, the word big is relative to people right now, okay? Relative to different people. But I'm saying that Don't think of the fact that I want to start big, all right, and because of that, I'm waiting for even the right time to start big. And so, I'm even reluctant. You've allowed the law of inertia to hold you down. All right, don't think of starting big. Think of starting where you are with what you have, being consistent. Did you hear what I said? Don't always think of starting big, but then think of starting where you are with what you have, being consistent. Consistency is key. Okay, so for instance, if after this training, one of the things that you're making the decision to start doing is to start studying and reading books. Maybe you're not somebody that has been reading books before. Do you know what you can help yourself do? Do you know what you can help yourself do? One of the things you can help yourself do is that you are going to you get a book. The book is maybe 200 pages or 300 pages. What you're going to tell yourself is not that I'm going to finish this book by tomorrow or by next week. You have not been doing it before. Okay, if you want to do something like that, all right, you are going to you you are going to put yourself in a very difficult state, all right, that your body is not yet used to, which would easily discourage you. So maybe you want to read a full book now. What you want to do is that, okay, I want to read this book. What I am going to do is that I've not been reading before. Can I start by reading 3 pages per day? I'm going to do 2 pages in the morning, 1 page in the night, and I'm going to do it like that. But then one thing, remember I mentioned what consistency is, that I'm going to do it every day. So by the end of a week, taking 3 pages a day, by the end of 7 days in a week, I've done 21 pages. Oh, wow. Now, the difference between you that started that week and the you that ended that week is a knowledge base equivalent to 21 new pages added to your life. Are you getting me? Don't say, no, there's a fire burning inside of me. I'm going to finish this book by the end of this week. 300 pages. I don't know how it will happen, but I'll finish it. You now set targets to finish it by the end of this week. On the 6th day, you now find out that you're still on page 10. That's not going to be effective for you because it's going to be discouraging. So I'm saying, that's just an example that, okay, you have a big goal in mind, something to do, something to achieve. Now, don't intend to say, until I have everything figured out, or I want to launch with a big bang. It's fine, but I'm saying that don't allow the thought of wanting to start big hold you down. Okay, what you rather want to do is that you want to start with what you have, where you are. Okay, you want to start with what you have, where you are, being consistent. This is very important. Being consistent. So it can even be that you want to get better, in the content creation space. Okay, what can I do? I'm going to do this. Maybe I'm going to create this consistently, 1 post per day. Okay, or you make up your mind that you want to learn a particular skill. You tell yourself, okay, I'm going to start by giving it, maybe 30 minutes in a day. I'm going to learn things in this area at least 30 minutes in a day. Don't go and say that, jiggy, I'm ready. I'm going stretch on this skill. I'm doing 8-hour stretch today. And after that 8 hours, the next time we now see you on it is maybe in the next 3 weeks. You see what I'm saying? That's not something good for you, right? So you want to build from where you are. All right, listen to that. You want to build from where you are with what you have, being consistent. This is very important. You want to build from where you are with what you have, being consistent. All right, so let's move very quickly. The next point on what you should do to make progress, number 4, is that find a way to be accountable. Now, when I say find a way to be accountable, I'm saying Is there someone that you think can actually, hold your hand? Somebody who can check on you, somebody you can give a progress report. This is very important. There is what an environment can force you and compel you to do. Maybe the reason why you are not able to keep through, in achieving what you have promised yourself to achieve is because there is no one to check in on you. There is no one you are keeping yourself accountable to. And listen, the person doesn't have to be an old person. It doesn't have to be. The person can be a friend that you actually know that you respect. Not the friend that wants to keep you accountable and you just yap the friend and both of you just still be gisting. I'm saying somebody that even if it's your friend, you hold in high esteem. The person can hold you accountable and the person can say, you said you are going to be learning this 30 minutes every day. So did you do the one for yesterday? Did you read through this for 30 minutes yesterday? Because the person is going to ask you. So is putting you in a state where there is somebody that is watching for my progress. And so because of that, I have to make sure that I am living. I don't want to disappoint. I don't want to be somebody that this person would ask, and I'm not living up to what I promised myself to live up to. I get what I'm saying. So accountability is very important. Who can I be accountable to? Who can put a check on me? Who can check in on me, at different points in time? You want to have that kind of a person in your life for the progress that you need to make. Serious person, no. I get what I'm saying. Serious person. All right. Number 5. This number 5. Make sure you pay attention to it. It is one point that I know that has caused many people pain due to the fact that we're going to experience at different levels, but how you handle it is what matters and what determines how the whole game will change entirely. But I've realized that many people don't know how to handle this particular subject we're about to discuss, and it has led to people experiencing serious pain, and they're like, no, I'm not going to do this thing. Really messed me up. And what is that point? It is that you must learn how to handle failure. You must learn how to handle failure. Listen, this is very important. You must learn how to handle failure. One of the things that you must have in your consciousness about failure is that failure is not an identity. For the most part, many times it's a feedback. Did you hear what I said? Failure is not an identity. For the most part, it is a feedback. So it is a feedback on the fact that, this did not work. What is the next thing I can do to make it work? Failure in something, the fact that you failed at something is not equivalent to the fact that you're a failure. You cannot draw your identity from an outcome that you are getting from something. No. Your identity is something you must firstly build from within. So you are not failure. You're not a failure because you failed at something. In fact, for the most part, failure is usually a feedback, and that is how you must see it. The fact that something did not work for you, did not work how you expected now, doesn't mean that you should draw a conclusion about yourself from it that, I already know. When I do things, can you see? This is the reason why I don't like to try things, because I don't know why. It just seems as though it doesn't really work. No. You cannot see. Let me tell you something. Somebody put it beautifully this way. Or even before I get to that, if you must even know that failure is not the opposite of success. Listen to what I just said. Failure is not the opposite of success. In fact, somebody put it in a brilliant way that failure is the school fees that you pay in the school of success. Oh my God. That failure is the school fees you pay in the school of success. So listen, no matter what happens, it is how you see it. Perspective matters. All right. that the fact that something does not work now doesn't mean, it's not going to work at all, or that I can't find a better way to get something done or to get this done. I know you know about, the creation of the light bulb, right? Now, I hope you know that the creation of the light bulb, of course, people have given different numbers, but listen, let's even keep to the minimum. That the one who was going to, create the light bulb, discover for effectiveness in saying that we have it work, is recorded to have tried and failed over 999 times. Of course, there are numbers that say 9,999 times, but let's even say 999 times. So over like about 1,000 times for the light bulb to come on. Now, this is where I'm driving at. Do you know the kind of thinking that you must have, the kind of mind frame, the kind of frame of mind that you must have to keep trying and tweaking and adjusting and trying something again and again over 999 times before it worked? You have only tried something twice and you gave up because it did not work. Oh my God. Do you know the kind of mindset you need to have? To try something 10 times, it didn't work. 50 times, it didn't work. 100 times, it didn't work. 200 times, 300. Are you counting the number? I hope you know it's a long period of time. 200, 250, 300, 350, 50th time, 400th time, 500. Do you know what it means? To the kind of dexterity and stamina that you need to have to keep on trying something and keep tweaking and adjusting, and it's still not working, and you keep at it until about 1,000 times. What kind of person do you have to be somebody like this, to think this particular way? And when it was, even, I believe when it was asked, how come you kept going, for over close to 1,000 times and you didn't stop? How come you kept on going even after failing about 1,000 times? And guess what he said as a response? He says, I did not fail over, for about 1,000 times. He says, I only found 999 ways it wasn't going to work. Ooh. Did you hear what I just said? He said he didn't count it as failure. He only saw 999. Oh my God. He only saw 999 ways that it wasn't going to work. He didn't see it as a failure. I'm saying that what kind of person did you have to be to think this particular way? You tried something 2 times and you gave up that it's not going to work. You tried something 5 times. You applied 5 times and they sent you 5 emails or rejection mails, and you're like, it's because my village people are following me. That's why. That's why it did not work. But we are talking about somebody that did something over 999 times and it wasn't good. It kept going until he arrived at the result that we all now enjoy today. Oof. I'm telling you, maybe the reason why you're where you are now is because you gave up too soon. Maybe it's because you gave up too soon. Maybe it's because you gave up too soon. You see, there is a way you have to start reconstructing your mind. All right, there is a way you need to start reconstructing your mind and tell yourself, all right, you must insist and tell yourself that it doesn't matter, I am not going to stop because something did not work once or twice. I'm going to take it as a feedback and we go again. Let it be hard for the enemy to see your end. You must have a staying power that makes it hard for the enemy to see your end. That you tell yourself, yeah, this did not work, but we go again. We go again. You must have a different perspective to failure. All right. You must have a different mind frame to failure, taking it as a feedback, not as an identity. And another thing that I want you to still talking about in knowing how to handle failure is the fact that allow yourself to fail fast and fail forward. This is what I am saying. Reduce the timeline between when you sulk as a result of failing, the time when you are crying and sulking as a result of failing. Reduce the timeline between when you are trying to sulk from a particular failure and when you take up the task of going again or adjusting and going again another time. Because this is what happens. For some of you, because you failed at something, you spent 3 weeks on something, for instance, and you failed at it. You now took about 2 to 5 months to mourn on that thing, to sulk on that thing, before you now go again. Time is going. Fail fast. Someone put it beautifully this way, fail forward. That you take it as a feedback, not as an identity. You're checking for what did not allow you to work this time. You tweak something and you go again. Learn what you need to learn now, then go again. And guess what? This is the time, this particular age bracket that we're discussing in, all right, is the time when you have the opportunity to fail and fail very fast and move on to the next thing very quickly and go again very quickly. Because there is a time that a period or a season of your life is coming when you would not have the luxury of just failing again and again, because you would now be in a season. There is a season where you cannot allow yourself to be failing again and again. All right. But there is a time when you can go all in, because you're still young, because you still have some time, because you don't have too much responsibilities on your shoulders yet. You don't have too much of persons depending on you yet. So this is the best time for you to get the wisdom needed. It doesn't work, it looks as though it failed, then it's fine. Go again. Are you getting what I'm saying? So number 5 is you must learn how to handle failure. I'm trying to move as fast as I can. So you must tell yourself, I will learn, I will adjust, and I will go again. Don't forget, when I fail at something, what should I do? I will learn, I will adjust, and I will go again. Again, when I fail at something, what should I do? I will learn, I will adjust, and I will go again. Repeat it. When I fail at something, I will learn, I will adjust, and I will go again. All right, so that's number 5. Very quickly, number 6. I'm gonna conclude on these notes, right? And would have had a great time. I hope you're having a great time, right? Are you having a great time? Are you sure? So number 6, very quickly, is something I want you to reflect about. Actually, number 6, and I wrote it, that growth will not be comfortable many times. And remember, I was explaining the other time the need for you to see something very important, that you don't always look for shortcuts. All right, when it's growth, for the most part, many times it's not going to be convenient. All right, but many of us, you don't want to do anything that stresses you, just stresses you a little bit. Once it stresses you a little bit, you don't want to do it again. You don't want to be involved. You're looking for shortcuts. You're looking for the fast routes to go. All right. Let me just looking for the fast route to go. Okay, but I am saying that you must get comfortable with the uncomfortable times. When it comes to growth, for the most part, it's not going to be comfortable. So you must get comfortable with not being comfortable. Are you getting what I'm saying? This is very important. You must get comfortable with not being comfortable. You see, so your goal is not to look for shortcuts. Your goal is to look for what works. I'm going to say that again. Your goal is not to look for, at this stage, your goal is not to look for a shortcut. Your goal is to look for what works and give yourself to it. Even if it looks uncomfortable, the goal is not for you to look for shortcuts. The goal is to look for what works. Are you getting what I'm saying? Your goal is not to look for comfort. Your goal is to look for what brings the result. Your goal is not to look for what? Comfort. Your goal is to look for what gives or produces the result. And so for the most part, many times, you must have this in your consciousness, all right, and let it be the guiding force, the compass, the guiding compass for the things that you engage in. If you're always looking for shortcuts because you don't want the discomfort that comes with growth, and so you're always looking for, the easier way out, you're just always looking for shortcuts, you are not going to be well built. Let me give you an example. And it's as though this would actually even shake some tables when I say it. Do you know people who you are always in a position, for instance, where you never read well for exams, yet you're always praying for the favor of God? You don't read for exams. You are always in a position where you are now doing last minute reading. Guess what? You are now praying to God that God, I want you to help me. Lord, favor me. Listen, for instance, you want to study medicine and surgery. You are not reading well. You're always reading last minute, and you now be begging God, Lord, if you can do it this one time, I want you to do it this one time for me. Just this one time. Then the next exam, you don't read well again. You keep praying, Lord, just this one time. Listen, it's medicine and surgery. Now, you want to graduate from, you want to graduate as a medical doctor by favor. But listen, imagine if you graduate through that shortcut of favor. Do you know you would have graduated and you will not know anything? Just imagine, they now bring a patient to you in the hospital. Because you did not study and you did not do the thing that you were supposed to do when you were in school. You were saying you wanted to rely on the favor of God. Now you graduated, but you graduated as a dullard. Now, when you graduated, you are now expecting somebody to bring their own child, or to bring a full-grown person. You want them to bring it to you to treat. All right? Imagine they bring you to someone and they say, this is a doctor that will be attending to you. And that, even though, he didn't really do well in school, but then he's a doctor. He graduated by favor. But then, he's the one that's going to be attending to you. He's going to be treating you. Of course, he's not an expert, but we are trusting God in his life. Since he graduated by favor, he's going to be he's going to be treating you, trusting God for favor to be able to treat you well, because he really doesn't know much. Now, will you allow that kind of a doctor to treat you? Because listen, he looked for the shortcuts. He looked for the easiest way out. Now, he wanted to graduate by favor. I hope many times the favor that you're asking God for is not because you are just lazy. Are you getting what I'm saying? Many people are asking God for favor, but many times it's because they are really lazy. You don't want to do the work. You just want the favor of God. Now, if I bring that kind of doctor to treat you, will you allow the treating? Will you allow yourself to be treated? Which doctor? Please, I beg, you better move from my side. Which doctor? Now, but guess what? You are praying for favor, but you know no book. They read. Now, you want us to put you to go and work in Ministry of Finance, but you don't know anything about finances. You did not read when you were in school. When they were saying study, you were always looking for, God, let me see the answer to the question. Why didn't you read? You won't see answer to question, read. So we'll now put you in charge of CBN, for instance. That's how you will crash our money. You see? Can you see that sometimes some things that we're asking God for, the fact that God is answering the prayer is really, really how He is answering the prayer, because He wants you to work. You get what I'm saying right now? Oh my. So I'm saying that don't always look for the shortcuts. Don't always look for shortcuts. Don't always look for the easy way out. Give yourself to the work. Give yourself to the process that will produce an holistic result. I'm telling you. So for the most part, many times, growth will not be comfortable. It will not be comfortable. All right. So let's begin to round up now. I believe you've been having a great time. I have a number of questions I want to give you. Are you gonna work on them? A number of questions I want to leave you with to answer. I gave some yesterday, some tasks for you to do. Okay. Do them, and let's have them reviewed. And for today, I want you to write this down. What is that thing you are afraid or reluctant of trying just because you are afraid? What is that thing, or what are the things that you are reluctant or afraid of trying for the fear of failure? What are the things? And which of them are you going to give a chance to try out? Which of them are you going to give a chance to try out? That's number one. Number two is, who will you make yourself accountable to? Who are you going to make yourself accountable to? Who are you going to, give, authorize, all right? Who are you going to give that authority or authorize to be able to put a check on you, to be able to review the things that you do and all of that? Okay. And so I'm going to give you those 2 questions. I gave you about 4 yesterday, if I'm correct. So with these 2, that's 6 questions I would want you to reflect on and give answers to them, and you begin to work. All right. And so as I conclude this evening, I want you to realize this. I want you to, I'm going to conclude with these words, okay, that you must realize that you being great or success in a thing or making progress is not an accident. It's not something that happens by accident. All right. It's not something that happens by accident. All right. Yeah. So it's not something that happens by accident. It is something that is intentionally built. Progress, growth, greatness is something that is intentionally built through consistency, through putting in the work, through being intentional. Are you getting what I'm saying? This is very important. And so, as I close this evening, one of the biggest truths that you would most likely not be told, but which you must know, is the fact that you don't need to have everything figured out to start. You only need to start figuring things out. You don't need to have everything figured out to start. You actually need to start to be able to start figuring things out. Are you getting what I'm saying? You actually need to start to figure things out. You don't need to figure everything out to start. You actually need to start to figure things out. All right. I believe this has been a very amazing time for you. I believe that you've gotten value from this. And, I believe that we'll still have other sessions come up, later on addressing other different areas. But for these 2 days, I believe that this has been very instructive for you and been a place of learning. All right, let me hear from you on how this has been impactful to you. Okay, you can drop your comments once this video is saved. You can drop your comments in the comment section of this saved video. All right, and let me know what this was for you, how this actually blessed you or impacted you, or you got value from this. Okay, so and I look forward to also reviewing. We have a group, right? So I'll look forward to reviewing some of the answers I give to the task that I gave yesterday, the questions I gave yesterday, and the one that I am giving today. And it's been a pleasure, speaking with you and, being your host for this. Glad that you also showed up, and for even others that's going to be listening to this, it's nice, connecting with you. Yeah, and I also see your feedback. It's been an impactful session. Yeah, thank you. So let's also so you can drop your feedback and your comments once the video has also saved. Okay, thank you very much, and it's been an amazing time with you this second day of Navigate. God bless you. Cheers.